So if there was ever a truly rare Hermes bag, 1 in a million, this might just be the one. Welcome to the first What's New from Hermes update of 2022. And if this is your first time seeing one of these videos from me, well, first of all, hi. And secondly, in these videos, we go over everything new launching from Hermes for the upcoming season. And today's What's New from Hermes video isn't just going to be any What's New from Hermes update. We'll be discussing some of the most exciting new Hermes bag launches for spring summer 2022, including some new Birkins and Kellys. So if you'd like to hear my first impressions on some pretty fun new Hermes bags, then please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and keep on watching. We love Hermes for many of their qualities, but punctuality isn't one of them. So I just want to make a quick disclaimer that if you don't see any one of these pieces anytime soon, don't be surprised, because Hermes works in mysterious ways and you never know when they launch what. One thing that I can guarantee is that none of these pieces will be on time, because Hermes is still catching up on pieces from years and years ago. So fingers crossed these do launch sooner rather than later, but I would say don't expect them any sooner than maybe Christmas time, if not spring summer 2023, but hopefully they will be here at one point. But I would just say that if you're interested in any one of these pieces, reach out to your boutique as soon as you can and express your interest, because seasonal pieces can sometimes be even more difficult to find than just regular Hermes bags. Not that anything is easy to come by these days. But anyway, let's jump straight into it. And let's talk about this piece first, which isn't technically the first time me talking about it. I already mentioned this piece during, I think it was my review of the spring summer runway collection, which some of the ready to wear pieces of you can already find in stores. And this was one of the bags that was styled on the runway with most of the looks, which is the so-called Maximor bag that of course has this really clear equestrian inspiration to it, which obviously pays homage to the heritage of the brand. On top, it has this incredible sculpture-like sniffle-inspired metal handle, and then the bag itself is quite small. But it's not just any mini bag, because it has the most unique cylindrical shape to it that I think makes this bag stand out from the crowd. Now, is this the first time that we see a shape like this from a luxury house? No, it isn't. We have seen some of these pencil case inspired shapes from Chanel, even from Loewe quite recently. But let's be honest, Hermes does it better. And I really cannot think of any other shape like this from Hermes other than their actual pencil cases that they have done in their baby line. So I'm all for it. I think it's really innovative, it's really fun. I love the fact that it has this beautiful, really interesting hardware detail on top. And then one correction that I have to make, which, well, technically it's not a correction, but something that I have to add to what I said in my original video talking about this bag, is that this bag actually comes with a shoulder strap, even though it was styled handheld during the runway show. In pictures that came out afterwards, we saw that there was a detachable and adjustable shoulder strap, which made me even more excited for this bag. So if you're looking for a mini bag that I do think will pack a punch when it comes to how much you can fit in there, that you can style in a really elegant and formal fashion, or you can also dress it down and make it look and feel a little bit more edgy, this I would definitely say to add onto your wish list, and I might just do the same. Let's look at two bags from the men's runway show, which we don't do often. I feel like it's quite rare for us to see anything noteworthy on the men's runways, just because Hermes usually do the exact same thing. They either do a flat pouch for men in some shape or form, or they do an HAC with a certain print or a unique texture. But I mean, there's only so much that we can say about those two bags season after season. But this time they had two bags on the runway, which I was really intrigued by. Not because they had never done these bags on the runway before for men. I should have said that they also do this bag too on top of the HAC and the flat pouches. But I think it was the perfect balance of something fun and innovative while staying true to their original shapes. So the two bags that I wanted to bring to your attention are going to be the new Travel Bolide created for men, which, let's be honest, it's 2022. Who cares what the label says? Whether it's designed for men or women, wear whatever you like and wear whatever you find makes you happy. But there's going to be two bags in their men's collection. A large bolide, which I believe is going to be in size 45. Usually that's the size that Hermes creates for men. And there's also going to be a messenger bag version of their bolide bag, which I had never seen before. They basically removed the top handles of the bolide bag, which was originally designed in 1923. Can you believe that that shape has been around since 1923? And it was actually the very first bag ever designed that featured a zip closure on the top of the bag. And Hermes continues to create it, which is kind of insane. I feel like it's almost 100 years old at this point, which I personally find really impressive. So there's going to be a new travel version of it, which again is nothing new. Hermes has done some fun takes on the bolide bag for men in previous years. But this season they constructed the body of the bag of a really soft grained skin. I would assume it's going to be something along the lines of Togo or Clemence. And it's the base of the bag that is inspired by a skateboard out of all things. And you might be thinking, skateboards? Isn't that a little bit too hip for Hermes? But if you know Hermes, you know that they have this weird obsession with surfing and skateboards. They have designed both of them in the past, just not in their men's line, but in their home collections. So it kind of makes sense, and I love the fact that they're infusing all these fun, cool urban elements into these incredibly timeless and classic designs. And I think they found the perfect balance. The fact that it's just the base of the bag that has this really whimsical and fun print on it, I think makes it just stand out from the crowd without being too shouty and loud. And if you're all about skateboarding, just know that the travel bag also comes with a baby little skateboard bag charm, which feels quite nostalgic. I'm not sure if it was just me, but I actually remember some kids owning these tiny little skateboards back when I was in elementary school that they played around with in class. So nostalgia again is a huge trend for the year. So you're just getting all these fun little layers in this one piece. And then if you're looking for more of a messenger bag for everyday use, then there's also going to be a messenger bag with an adjustable shoulder strap without the classic bullet hand. I feel like we were off to a really good start in this video. We had the Maximor bag, which I loved. I definitely think that it is wishlist worthy. Then we had the bolide bags, which personally I wouldn't buy for myself, but I do think that they look great, and if either one of them were gifted to me, I wouldn't be mad about them. And then we're going downhill from here, especially with these two new launches, because we're getting a new take on the Birkin and the Kelly in their so-called Colormatic reinterpretation, which basically means that they are launching a Birkin and a Kelly, not only in a mixture of different colors, but also with this incredibly awkward looking pocket on the front. I have no idea who thought about this and who thought that this was a good idea. That person needs a good talking to. I'm not going to say that they need to be fired. I don't think anyone should lose their job over a bad design, but they definitely need to take a back seat for the next couple of seasons, because this looks horrific. I'm sorry, but there's nothing wrong with the Birkin, there's nothing wrong with the Kelly. They have been working perfectly for decades, so if they're not broken, why fix them? Especially with this horrible front pocket right on the front of the bag. that is made out of a different color than the body of the bag. So if you know Hermes and if you've been buying Hermes for a while, you know that back in the day Hermes used to create not only rainbow colored bags, but they used to offer rainbow colored special order bags, which meant that you were able to choose different colors for different facets and parts of the bag that Hermes discontinued a few years ago because they said that there were some pretty horrific color combinations that they had to end up canceling because they couldn't release them. So they no longer allow customers to do their own color combinations, but then they come out with this, where each little element of the bag is made of a different color. Well, at least the body of the bag is a one solid color, but if you look at the sangles, if you look at the top part of the bag where the handle is attached to the bag, on one side is made of a different color, which just doesn't look cohesive. To me, it either looks like that you try to fix your bag at home or you try to spice it up, but you didn't have the right materials, or that you spilled something on your bag that basically made it this color. And the fact that that front pocket is just shouting at you because it's in a different contrasting color than the bag itself just makes it look even worse. Let's move on to another bag, which I'm pretty sure is what Hermes nightmares are made of, which is the new HAC backpack. Now Hermes has done quite a few backpacks in the past. One of them is the City Backpack, which I'm personally a big fan of. That is from their men's collection. But they have even done some really cool backpacks for women. One of them was inspired by the Kelly bag itself, which they designed back in the day and then it was re-envisioned and relaunched only a few years ago, which I happen to love the idea of, but unfortunately the proportions did not work for me because it was quite short and quite tapered. So even though I love the idea, it didn't really work with my proportions, but I know some people absolutely love them out there, and I can completely understand why. And that's where really the story should have stopped. They brought it back a few years ago. Let it rest. The people who were lucky enough to get them should enjoy them. But no, Hermes was like, why don't we create another backpack that is similar to the Kellydole backpack? It's just a lot more clunky. Well, here we go. They created a bag inspired by the iconic HAC, which is basically the ancestor of all Birkins, Kellys, and even Hermes bags. This was the very first bag that was launched by Hermes in the early 1900s, and this bag was specifically designed for horse riders to be able to easily transport their saddles, their boots, and basically all their horse riding essentials. So if you ever wondered why the Birkin is such an open style tote with this huge wide opening, it all goes back to the HAC because obviously Hermes had to make sure that the equestrians have an easy time slipping their saddles in and out of their bags. That's why the top of the bag is so open and easy to get into, which obviously was later updated for Jane Birkin, and that's how the Birkin was born. But it was really closely inspired by the HAC itself, and so was the Kelly. But the HAC backpack, even though it's inspired by the HAC, just as the Birkin was, I don't think they did quite as good of a job on as they did with the Birkin. So I don't know what to say, I'm just not a fan. But if you are wondering what's the real difference between an HAC and a Birkin, first of all, the proportions are going to be quite different. The HAC is much taller and narrower, and so is this backpack. The handles are going to be shorter on an HAC than they are on a Birkin. Well, this backpack doesn't have a handle, but you do get, based on the pictures that I have seen, you do get one single strap, which I guess would allow you to put it crossbody, not technically as a backpack, just to make matters worse. And then the hardware is also quite different on the HAC than it is on the Birkin. It's a lot clunkier and heavier and more substantial, which quite frankly is an absolute pain to use. So this is what you can expect from the HAC backpack. More pieces and inspiration taken from the HAC rather than the Birkin and the Kelly as it was on the Kellydole backpack. Obviously, as you can tell, I am not a fan, but if you are, this should be out at one point, technically designed for spring summer. And last but not least, we have another reinterpretation of another iconic Hermes bag, this time of the Kellydole bag, which was designed back in 2000 by Jean-Louis Dumas, which was this really fun and playful take on the iconic Kelly bag. It was really whimsical, and it was really quite short-lived because it was designed in 2000. It was around for a couple of years, then it disappeared, and it only popped up here and there for a little while. Certain stores offered it as a special order bag, and then afterwards I think that was only for a couple of seasons, after which you could only find one here and there, and it was only given to stores for special occasions. So if there was ever a truly rare Hermes bag, one in a million, this might just be the one. But we have been seeing more and more of it pop up in the past couple of years. Just earlier this year, well actually no, sorry, it's 2022 at this point, so earlier last year, back in 2021, Hermes updated their Kelly Twilly design to have the features of the Kellydole bag. And for 2022 spring summer, they're launching the Kellydole Picto, which seems to me that it's inspired by an old school video game of some sort. Obviously the original Kellydole bag was inspired by old school games, so it kind of makes sense that Hermes would update it based on the most popular games of the 21st century. And it definitely has a really fun and modern look to it. Now, based on the pictures that I have seen, this bag seems a lot bigger, or I shouldn't say a lot bigger, but bigger than the original Kellydole. I believe the original bag was around 15-16 centimeters, so it's itty bitty. This seems a little bit wider, which I feel like would make it a little bit more user friendly. Not that I feel like most people would wear this out every single day with all these hands and face and little details going on. I don't think it would be the easiest bag to use, but if you wanted to use it on a more regular basis, you could. Now, just because this bag is supposed to launch for spring summer 2022 doesn't mean that every single boutique is going to receive one, and even the ones that will, I'm sure, have already someone in mind that they're going to offer these bags to. So I would suggest that if you're interested in adding a Kellydole in any shape or form to your collection, speak to your boutique as soon as you can. Probably now would be a good idea. But my friends, this completes today's video on all the new Hermes bags launching for 2022. I hope you enjoyed these, and please let me know in the comment section which piece you're most excited for. Did any one of these stand out to you? Are you adding any one of them to your collection? I'm excited to find out. And if you would like to see a what's new from Hermes accessories update for spring summer, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you back here with a new video really soon. But for now, bye.